Hello everyone, it's Jen from Old Tinkerer Studio. In this tutorial, we will be learning how to download Blender, and we will take a look at the interface in Blender 2.83. So let's get on with the tutorial. In order to download Blender 2.83 Beta, go to blender.org and click on Download. Click on the Try Blender 2.83 Beta link. On the next page, choose your operating system and download the zip file. Since 2.83 is still in beta, you will need to unzip the file and then look for the executable file. It will have a Blender logo for the icon. Click on the executable file and you will open Blender 2.83. The splash screen contains options to create new properties or open recently opened blend files. From the screen, you can choose your language. You can choose which shortcuts you want to use. It is best to leave this as the default. You can choose to select with the left or right mouse button. The tutorials on this channel use right select. You can choose what you want to use the space bar for: play, tools, or search. You are also able to choose your theme. If you make any changes to the settings, you can save these settings from the splash screen. When you open Blender after the initial setup, you are presented with a new splash screen with various links and the ability to choose your working space. To close the splash screen, simply click anywhere in the viewport. You can always access the splash screen via the menu under the Blender logo. When you start up a new project, you will be in object mode and perspective view. Numpad 5 is the shortcut to change to orthographic view, and the tab key will allow you to switch between object mode and edit mode. In the drop-down menu, you can also change to sculpt mode, vertex paint, weight paint, or texture paint mode. At the top of the interface, you will have the File, Edit, Render, Window, and Help menus. Next to these menus are tabs called Workspaces. Here you'll see the 3D viewport in object mode and user perspective. You also have access to the timeline. The letter T on the keyboard will toggle the toolbar, allowing you to hide or show the tools. This is the same for each workspace. The modeling workspace is the default workspace for modeling. Here you'll see a 3D viewport in edit mode and user perspective. The sculpting workspace is the default workspace for sculpting. Here you see the sculpting viewport in sculpt mode. The UV editing workspace is the default workspace for UV editing. Here you'll see a split viewport with the UV image editor on the left and the model on the right. Notice that if you have a simple geometric mesh, Blender 2.8 will automatically unwrap the UV. The Texture Paint workspace is the default workspace for texture painting. Here you'll see a split viewport with the UV image editor on the left and the model on the right. Again, notice that if you have a simple geometric mesh, Blender 2.8 will automatically unwrap the UV. The Shading workspace is the default workspace for texturing. Here you see a split viewport with a file browser, viewport, UV image editor, and the node editor. Notice that you have an automatic HDRI to show how light will affect the model. The Animation workspace is the default workspace for animation. Here you see a split viewport with a rendered view, viewport, and dope sheet. The rendering workspace is the default workspace for rendering. Here you see a split viewport with a camera view and a timeline. The compositing workspace is the default workspace for compositing. Here you see a split viewport with a node editor and a dope sheet. The scripting workspace is the default workspace for scripting in Python. Here you see a split viewport with a 3D viewport, history, and scripting area. You can also set up and save your own workspaces by clicking on the plus sign. The 3D viewport has a new toolbar on the left. The tools in the toolbar, once activated, stay active until changing to another tool. Their settings are displayed in a bar at the top of the window. The status bar is displayed along the bottom of each workspace. The status bar shows information about what different mouse buttons and keys do in the workspace, mode, and tool. It also provides scene statistics and messages and progress indicators for tools and jobs. The outliner contains scenes and collections. These collections replace the layers in Blender 2.7. In order to add an object to a collection or to add a new collection, you use the M key to bring up the Move to Collection menu. The Properties editor has buttons in a single column layout. Panels can also have subpanels, where more advanced and less commonly used settings are collapsed by default. The Properties region can be accessed using the N key. The Item tab is the panel related to mesh editing in the Transform panel, where numeric values can be entered for location, rotation, scale, and dimensions. The Tool tab is the tab panel related to the settings of the selected tool. The View tab gives you access to the properties for the camera, such as focal length, camera lock, 3D cursor, and annotations. Areas can still be split. When you're at the corner of an area, you will see a crosshair, which indicates you can hold down your left mouse button and split the area. To join an area, simply right-click between two areas and then choose Join Areas. Then hold down the left mouse button and drag into the area onto the other window. In the next Blender 2.83 Basics tutorial, we will be exploring the viewport, viewport shading, and units. If you're interested in learning more about 3D art and animation, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.